Today I have with me Mr. Dilip Piramal, Ms. Radhika Piramal and Sudeep, the CEO, the chairperson and the executive vice chairperson of VIP. Probably the first time on Indian television that you guys are speaking together.
That's right.
Whenever the history of strong consumer brands in India is written, VIP would be among the top tier brands that we'll be speaking about. The growth of VIP, pretty much like the growth of India. But now, what made you take the decision of relaunching the brand and repositioning it?
I will have to give you some background about this. That when VIP was launched in 1971, India was in a state of depravity. We were living in an era of shortages. There were queues for everything from food to fuel to sugar, everything virtually. And in that time, VIP was launched as a very super luxury brand. So when VIP was launched, it was more for the affluent people, only for the affluent people. As the Indian economy progressed, VIP became more and more widespread. It was used by everybody.
So that's not to say that VIP's affluence came down. We can say that the Indian affluence moved higher.
So that even the lower middle class, or I would say even the middle class could use it, not so much the lower middle class. Then as we came into this century, the market expanded even more. Imports was allowed. So we had a whole bouquet of products in all segments, in all industries. And because of that, there's a lot of evolution and we need to now refocus on the VIP brand.
So the repositioning of the brand, earlier it stood for the affluent brand that he's speaking about. Then you had a bouquet of brands. What do you think VIP now stands for?
So the strength and the weakness of VIP, somewhat paradoxically, is the same. Which is every consumer in India has an association, their own mental map of what VIP means. And one of the challenges of changing such a heritage brand, such an iconic brand, is we would of course have our brand strategy, our corporate strategy, but people have their own opinions of what VIP is. So changing something that's so well ensconced. So we said, okay, how do we make it as appealing, fresh, young to the modern India, which is what we want, which is what's required for this brand to succeed in the future as it has in the past. And we thought the most natural fit for this brand is actually family holidays, because that's where people have their happy associations and memories of VIP. So that's really where we wanted to focus VIP's sort of new image on. And just one more thing, it's because when we look at our portfolio of brands and also our competitive brands, we have to find a positioning for VIP that's distinct from competition and also from us.
Exactly my
so
question.
When we look
how is it different as against the competition or as your own brand?
So let's talk about our own portfolio. We have Carlton at the premium end.
Yep, that's for the business class traveler.
Absolutely aimed at the business class traveler. And then in the middle segment, which is the largest and most important segment in India, we have Skybags and VIP. And Skybags clearly stands for style and youth and a very sort of fashionable and bold style of luggage. But when people think Skybags, they don't think of family. When people instinctively think of VIP, family is just, it's a very natural fit.
But Sudeep, what do you think of the Indian consumer? Primarily because, okay, I'll tell you about my own household. Yes, we do have luggage. Yes, we do travel individually and as a family. But the luggage is the luggage. It's not that this is my suitcase or this is my father's suitcase or this is my mother's suitcase. Paucity of space maybe could be one of the reasons why everyone in India does not have individual luggage pieces. In that, how do you then promote VIP as a family holiday luggage when one already has, say, Skybags or an older VIP or any of your competitive brands?
If you see, when it comes to luggage, when it's a business luggage, it's actually individual. So what we are trying to say is, if it's family, then it's VIP for you. And there are two kinds of holidays, as Chairman said. One is the business travel and one is the holiday travel.
So how are these bags priced vis-a-vis the same segment which Skybags operates in?
They're actually quite similarly priced. VIP and Skybags are in a similar price band to each other.
So why should I buy one and not the other?
That's the whole point of having a market segmentation. And the middle class is so big that it makes a lot of sense to have more than one brand to appeal to more than one kind of person.
See, and especially, when you're in the same market segment like VIP and Skybags are, the marketing theory is that if you have about 35% market share in one segment, then there is always space for another brand. And for us, it doesn't matter, whether the person buys Skybags or VIP. We are giving two different offerings in that price segment. And it's up to the consumer, and we are happy as long as it is a VIP product, VIP company's product, whether he buys Skybags or VIP, we are absolutely fine.
I mean, we had, my father and I had a long debate back in 2010-11 whether to launch Skybags as a brand separate from VIP. So in fact, the big conversation about whether to have two brands or one brand in the same price segment happened way back in 2011. And we were very sure that if we wanted to attract all of rising India, then having two brands was very important.
Would it not have made sense back then? Of course, everything is perfect in hindsight. To maybe focus Skybags only as a backpack brand and have VIP and VIP Bold as VIP the older brother and Bold as.
Yeah, so if you ask me, what we try to do is Skybag is for youth, and youth they do not like to travel with luggage, the bigger luggage.
So why muddle product with a brand?
So
right?
Backpacks. So we are in Skybags. If you see our sales in Skybags. Most of it, so earlier when we started off, it was a luggage sale, but over the years, more and more backpacks have started selling. So currently the backpack sale or the casual bag is what we say, we call it the short haul, though that contributes to about 40% of Skybags. In fact, last time when we spoke, the vision that we all have is Skybags should sell about 60% of casual or short haul bags.
And there won't be any casual short haul bags in VIP.
There will be, but the quantum will be far, far lesser. So success of a brand depends on how sharply you position. Positioning is not just communication.
I would put it this way, that VIP is mainly a luggage brand, whereas Skybags is both luggage and backpacks. And that is why Skybags has become so big.
All right, on that note, then we take our first break, come back and we talk about the numbers of VIP. Mr. Piramal, let's get into the earnings part of it. The last quarter, we saw a sharp dip in your margins. The previous few quarters, we saw sharp expansion in the margins, and then there also was the rate cut that came in from the GST. So do you think going forward, the margins will sustain above that 12%, 13% level, or will that be the sub 10% mark that happened in the previous quarter?
Well, our aim is to get back to that 12% mark, and I think we will do that. It might take some time. What happened in the last quarter and in the current quarter is that the rupee had depreciated very sharply against the dollar, and more than 50% of our sales is from imported product. Also, the import duty went up by 5%. So that was a very, very sharp increase in our input price, and other expenses also went up. And because the sales growth was so high, there is quite a lot of competition. We did not take any significant market price increases. We are working on that, and I think now the rupee is also stable, and I feel that we should get back to those margins.
So what's the sort of price hike you've taken so far in FY19? What are you projecting for FY20?
So last year we took roughly about 5% price increase in tranches, but the rupee depreciation was far more than that. Next year we are, the coming couple of quarters, couple of price increases are there, and hopefully, and also what we have done is we have negotiated very hard on our costs through our suppliers, and that has also been able to help us. So I think we should be good.
What is the growth rate at which each of your brands is growing?
If you ask me, over the years, VIP has been growing between 9 to 12%. It has kind of last year. So you also understand when we are launching a brand, first thing what we have to do is to relaunch the product, because that's communication is the last thing that you do.
Right.
So we have done the reworking on the product, and they've really come out well. So in fact, before the launch itself, VIP has moved from that 9 to 12 to 15. So we're actually growing at around 15 to around that mark. We have, as I said, as Chairman was saying, the sales are growing very high, and last discussion that we've had, we have seen that Aristocrat has really taken off. That's something that we had planned, because there is a lot of unbranded consumers who are there, and they're shifting to our brand. And Skybag has been growing at a steady pace for the last couple of years. So I think all our main brands, which we wanted to grow the way it is supposed to grow, is growing at the pace that we wanted to grow.
Where does the scalability come from, Mr. Piramal? Because the company has been in place for about 48 years right now. In 48 years, you've been managing to do about 1,500 crores of sales. That's roughly $200 million. where does scale come from?
In the 70s, 80s, 90s, we grew at a very small small pace. And then later on, in the 90s, when the whole of India was growing, we were affected because our industry is something which the small scale industry can very easily make, the unorganized sector can make very easily. And GST has really helped us in a very big manner. And scale is going to come from that. Also, the rest of the economy is doing pretty well. Travel is growing rapidly. The wedding season, which is the big driver for luggage, is also the spends there are much more. And the biggest difference is going to come in the international markets. As Indian manufacturing becomes more competitive, I think we will get a bigger chunk of the international.
How much does your revenue come from exports right now? I believe very negligible.
It's very insignificant. It's about 5 to 6%.
And going forward, you have a plan for that?
Well, at the moment, right now, we we don't have very aggressive plans. But I think after 2 or 3 years, we will become a very large. Exports will become much more important in our sales.
Tell me about Caprese. It was your brainchild. Was expected to cross 500 crores in sales. Currently does around 100 odd crores.
But it's actually not in line with what our ambitions was. And what we've realized is launching a premium or even a mass premium brand in India doesn't allow scale. So for us to really scale Caprese up from 100 crores to 300 crores and then 500 crores, I think we really have to consider our go-to-market strategy, our overall pricing strategy, in which distribution channels are we present, because we've pitched it kind of high. We've pitched it as European fashion available in India. And if we want to be a 300 or 500 crore brand, I think while we can continue definitely with that positioning, we'll have to find more accessible price points. And just returning to that original topic of scale and competition and price increase and margins, I will say the entry level is where the real opportunity is. And that's where the margin pressure sort of bites the most. So I think as a company, if we can successfully do that over the next, let's say 1, 2 or 3 quarters, which is find a way to get back our margins in the economy segment of the market, where it's a work in progress. And, we're going to take more price increases in the next fiscal than we did in the current. But at the same time, it is the most competitive segment also. So when you talk about competition, I will say we're in a very, very strong position in the middle. Even in the premium now, what Carlton has done in the last 2 or 3 years, we've significantly stronger.
How's the pickup been? Like, how many bags have you sold in terms of volumes?
So we don't give those specific numbers, but we can say that perhaps 5 years ago we were not a significant presence in the premium segment. We definitely are so now. And in the middle and the economy segments, we're definitely the market leaders. And the economy segment, though, is where we face the most competition and therefore the most pressure on margins.
So if you take a look at VIP, when you started, nearly all the revenues came from the brand VIP. Then, like you said, there was market segmentation. You got in Carlton, you got all the other brands up. Right now, VIP would be about a third. Skybags is your lead revenue generator. The future of VIP, say 5 years from now, what do you expect the revenue mix to be?
I think VIP and Skybags together will continue to be the majority of the company. It's what we like also in terms of the margin mix. Definitely VIP and Skybags have a nice, better margin profile than Aristocrat and Alpha. Having said that, for us to grow from a 1,700 crore company to a 4,000 and 5,000 crore company, the magic will be getting Aristocrat to scale at margins that are closer to VIP Skybags.
Last 4 years, your EBITDA has become, 2.5 times?
Yeah. So
the next 4 years, does it become 2.5 times?
Let's see how, we need a bit of a tailwind from the economy, but I think in terms of management strength and brand strategy, we are there.
We cannot be, if we are India's #1 luggage brand, we cannot be operating in a particular segment. We have to be #1 in each and every segment that we operate. And that's what we would like to do in the next 5 years' time.
Okay, so that's as far as the share of the pie is concerned. You've almost completed 1 year as CEO. You will complete 50 years of existence in the next 2 years. What are the targets? What do you want the overall pie to be?
Well, if I look at the international market, then the sky is the limit, literally.
Have you thought of your strategy? Will it be emerging markets? Will it be in countries which are similar to India in their taste and style? Or will it be the developed markets that you're aiming at?
No, it will be the developed market. You see, you've got to understand one thing, and I like to say this, that VIP is one of the very few companies. We are the second largest luggage company in the world. And we are operating, and we are the second largest company in a category which is used everywhere in the world in the same manner. So for us, if we go international, it is
with the same brands.
It is the same brands, and maybe the brands might be different, but the same products. So the whole world, but it's still time for that. I mean, when you asked me about the long term, what is your targets and all, but all that is there at the back of our minds. But it'll sort of
so then there'll be
unravel
another
very soon.
chunk added to your overall pie, the quarter plate. That would be
Yes.
the international business. How much?
But right now, there's nothing on the anvil. So but when you asked me a question, I answered your question literally.
You guys are cash
In 5
rich
or
here. There's
10
no
years.
problem. You'll throw up free cash and stuff as well. So
Yes, absolutely.
an acquisition is also on the cards, maybe.
Right now, nothing, but everything is possible.
In advertising. But now with this VIP brand relaunch, do you think that is going higher?
We're going to stick to our annual strategy of 5 to 7%. Now, of course, we can change it quarterly. Sometimes we make those adjustments.
You have Saif, Kareena. Why not Taimur?
Well, I would love to, but I guess they're very protective.
That would have
about
been
it,
the
and
best ROI.
It's more of a family that we wanted to have. One of the shift that we're doing in VIP is from being individualistic brand, it is going to be a family brand, and very clearly. And we wanted a very modern family, a family which travels together, have fun together, and somebody with people look up to. And I think Kareena and Saif are the ideal couple that we have.
And do you guys have a right of first refusal for Taimur?
Good idea you've given us.
I don't see VIP at any of the airports. Is there a reason for that?
Airport retailing is, in terms of the cost of retailing, is very, very high, right? And therefore, we need a premium brand where the margins are equally
Carlton.
stunned. So therefore, if you see now, the Carlton stores are started coming in, and once we are, we are one company, and one of the philosophies that we have is whatever we do, we don't do it for brand. We would love to make money out of it, profitable organization, and we don't want to lose money. We are currently believe that we still have a little bit of more work to do on the brand Carlton, because before Carlton by itself can stand in an airport and be profitable. We are experimenting in a couple of airports, and hopefully in next 6 to 8 months time, we will see a lot of the airport stores coming up.
I actually prefer to be very disciplined. In terms of our retail stores, we would like them not only to break even or just be there for the brand show, but we would really like them to be profitable. And airport retail, as everybody knows, is expensive. So once you've checked in and you're ready to board, a passenger wants to buy some fun stuff. They don't want to buy a bag. They already typically have a bag by then. So whereas, there's a lot of brands.
Just reinforces the brand by being.
It is definitely,
because wherever I go, truth be told, I see a lot of Samsonites. The brand stores at airport stores.
It is no doubt a sort of premium location to have brand visibility, but for us and our company strategy, we are okay to do that through a variety of promotion and keep retailing to make money.
Your thoughts on e-commerce for this category? Does it work too much as it does for other categories?
Yes.
And do you have an omni-channel strategy for that?
So as of now, e-commerce, we sell our luggage as a voluminous product.
Exactly.
Okay. We transport air. Okay. So if you see what we sell in e-commerce is primarily the smaller products, which is Caprese, backpacks. They sell a lot in e-commerce. Luggage, it's still picking up because the logistically it's little difficult to transport luggage. So of course it's a very important channel. It is currently not a very big channel in our overall mix, but it's growing at a very, very high pace.
350 crores in the backpack business is what you all do. 500 crores happens by when?
I'd like to happen it tomorrow morning, but yeah, we're working on it. So it's.
And I don't think it should take too long.
And you did promise that 1,000 crores on VIP comes in FY20. You stick by your promise?
Well, I don't know where you got this promises from.
It's on record.
I know. So, no. So the way we would like to say is we would like to grow the brands profitably. See, growing a brand is easy. I drop prices, it'll double.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to grow the brand profitably.
35% CAGR for the next few years has 500 crores and the bottom line. A target.
That is our target.
Okay.
I love
We
that.
did that in the last 5 years, ending in March 18, we did that, and we hope to repeat it in the next 5 years.
I can see you like talking about the targets, and what I like seeing is an ability of a company to transition not once in leadership, that's from my father to me, but a second time from me to Sudeep. So we can discuss the targets on television. What's more important is that we have such a strong leadership team with such a joint and clear vision, and then, the continuity to make it happen. So I'm super confident of the next 10 years, the same kind of success what we've seen really VIP transformed in the last 10 years to what it was the first 40 years, and expect that to continue. So with this kind of management in place, I'm sure we'll break all those targets.
You talk about the management, I can't not talk about all three of you all together, the chemistry that you all have. So between the three of you all, who's the most vocal?
I think actually all three of us are fairly vocal. So
What is also very important is all three of us listen to each other. That's very important. Being vocal is one thing. The other thing is that people have to listen. So when chairman says, we do listen, obviously. But when we say, he listens. So that's very important.
Everyone
Listening
has a
is very
different
important.
role.
So in terms of roles, I think chairman's and my role is to guide him, for us to give him a sounding board. And same thing that my father did for me when I was MD.
Currently you have Safari, which is growing, and they are aggressive in a lot of geographies. Are they not looking to hire your people?
Everyone makes their decisions. I'm proud to say that our attrition levels are relatively low, because we're a nice place to work.
And you're not facing the heat from any competitor?
No, not in terms of this, and it's because people see good career path in our company. I think the proof of the pudding is that Sudeep has become the MD. So people can see that this is not a company just driven by its promoters, that if a person shows talent and growth and commercial instinct, that they can get the highest job.
Any reason why you chose not to be the MD after 2017, after being at the helm for a while?
I also wanted to take some time to be able to focus on the strategic and cultural aspects of our organization, and that is something that it's actually hard to do when one's also focusing on quarter after quarter after quarter results.
So far, what fruits have your decisions borne?
So one thing what my father was alluding to, but we haven't yet finalized our plans, is really how do we take on the international markets? How do we go from being a market leader in India to having a significant presence? So it's too early to comment on that, but that's something I'm interested in. The second thing that I am interested in is, how can we improve some of the cultural aspects of VIP, and that means, for example, we've taken great strides forward in participating in the Great Place to Work list of India, and we're sort of moving up the ranks there. We're also trying to work on the diversity and inclusion platform in our company. There's a long way to go. It's just the start of a journey. So all of these things, they take a long time to change and plan, and that's again something I feel is hard to do when one's also focusing on quarter after quarter.
Wish you a good foray into not just VIP, again, VIP's international travel as well. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure speaking with you all.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
you.